It wasn't pretty, but the Washington Commanders got the win against the New England Patriots 20-17, and they improved to 4-5 on the season. I'll break it all down in today's video. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. It really does help out a ton. And like I said in the intro, it wasn't pretty, but it was a win that the Washington Commanders needed if they want any chance of making the playoffs. This is a game they 100% should have won, and they did it. Next week, I believe they go to Seattle. They play the Giants as well, teams like the Rams. So, the games are going to start to get a little bit tough, but we all know Ron Rivera likes to go on a winning streak in the middle of the season, so maybe this is the start of it. And didn't do a preview stream, but predicted the Commanders would win 20-17. Just want to give myself a little bit of shout out there. But let's get into it. Sam Howell, 29 of 45, 325 passing yards, 1 touchdown, which was a dime to Jahan Dotson, and 1 interception, which was a very, very bad interception. One of the worst I've seen from him. I don't know what he was thinking there. The only logical explanation was he was trying to throw it away and he just didn't put enough on it out of bounds because no one was remotely close to open. And the guy he threw it to, there wasn't really a receiver that close to him. He just threw it to whoever. I don't know who he threw it to, but it was a Patriots defender. That was a really bad interception. And if, he scored there, it could have been a touchdown, at least a field goal. Besides that, he was pretty good in this game, avoided the sacks, technically got sacked 3 times. One of those sacks, though, he stepped up in the pocket and kind of slid, and it was only a 1-yard loss. So that's why, it's 3 sacks on the stat sheet, but for me, really, it's 2, and that's growth for Sam Howell. That's a lot of growth for Sam Howell, and I'm happy that he is getting, rid of the ball earlier and getting sacked, fewer times. He had 1 sack that was, a long one, which is 13 yards, and that really hurt us. But then he made it up for it and got a 24-yard run in the game as well. So I thought overall Sam Howell had a really decent game. Besides that interception, he made a lot of plays. He ran the ball for 24 yards on that one, run there. He had some crazy throws where he ran across and threw across his body and threw it to Byron Pringle, who had a good day. He just made a ton of plays, and there's a couple ones that were missed. De'Ami Brown kind of dropped one that he should have, came down with for sure. And some, his receivers weren't making plays. Jahan had one for sure drop that would have gotten a first down, and another one that was questionable. Maybe should have caught it, maybe not, but he did kind of make up for it with that nice catch. And Terry, he kind of got held, but you would have liked him to come down with that ball as well. But Terry had a good day. 5 catches, 73 yards, no touchdowns on 7 targets. Jahan, 4 for 69 and a touchdown on 8 targets. Byron Pringle had a day. 3 catches, 55 yards on 4 targets. Gibson 100% gets the game ball. 6 carries, 34 yards, averaged 6 yards a carry, and then had 5 catches, 42 yards, and a long of 12. He contributed, I don't know on how many first downs, but it had to be 5+ first downs that he got himself in terms of, he got a first down on that play. I mean, 5 catches, 42 yards, and the long was 12. So most of those were 8, 9, 10-yard catches, and the runs were good as well. So he had a really good game. Probably might be the best player on offense all around today. Had a total of 75 yards, but all of those yards were very, very important. Brian Robinson had a good day as well. 18 carries, 63 yards, 3.5 yards a carry, and a touchdown. 9 was his long. But I do want to, and I didn't talk about this earlier, but Bill Belichick historically is really good. I mean, he's a really good defensive mind, of course, but especially against young QBs and QBs he's faced for the first time. So for Sam Howell to look decent against him, I think is a step in the right direction for him. Obviously, you would love to, for him to absolutely look amazing, but it's hard to do that against the Patriots defense, even without Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez, is still a good defense. There's still a good defense, and, Bill Belichick can disguise things and make things tough for the opposing offense, especially for a young QB in Sam Howell. So Sam Howell definitely deserves his flowers. That interception was bad. Wondering I'm sure he's talking about it in the press conference right now, but what he was seeing on that play and if he says he was throwing it out of bounds or not, we'll be interested for sure to hear about that. And yeah, I mean, offensive line was pretty good today. There was 3 sacks. Again, one of them, I'm not really going to count it. The other 2, Charles Leno got beat pretty early. And Howell kind of went into the pressure as well. Besides that, I can't remember the other sack, but the offensive line was not bad today. I think Leno had a false start, and there might have been, I think Larson got beat once for a sack, if I'm remembering correctly, but not too many penalties on the offensive line as well. Jameson Crowder made a couple plays, 4 catches, 28 or 23 yards. Logan Thomas made some tough plays as well. I mean, a lot of guys, no one went absolutely off, but everyone was pretty solid offensively. And there was one time where Bates was wide open in the end zone, and Howell's getting pressured and he missed it a little bit, but he had a good, Sam Howell overall had a good day. Defensively, it was pretty up and down with this defense. I mean, they only allowed 17 points, and Sam Howell did have Brian Robinson fumbled. I forgot about that. So Brian Robinson did fumble, so you have to take that into account, and that really gave them the momentum. It was 10-0. That fumble ended up making it 10-7. So the defense, yeah, they allowed 17 points, but 7 of those were off of a turnover that was just, gave them really, really good field position. Kendall Fuller thought had a good day, got his hand on the last pass that Quan Martin ended up getting the interception there. Shout out Quan Martin, made some plays. Cameron Curl was solid. David Mayo, I know a lot of people are going to flame him for that one long run that they had on him, but they talked about it on the broadcast. That was more on Jamin Davis than it was on David Mayo. I forgot the term that they used for it. And then they showed Jack Del Rio showing Jamin Davis the tape. And it was clear that it was on Jamin Davis. Khaleke Hudson got beat on a touchdown. That was a tough. If he would have put his hand out a little bit earlier, I think he would have been able to, block it and break it up. Benjamin St. Juste thought he had a good day, had 3 pass breakups. Percy Butler also had a decent day as well. Emmanuel Forbes had a really good day, 3 tackles, a couple pass breakups, had some really good coverage, almost had an interception. For the most of the game I was watching on TV, but for a second I had to grab something, was on my phone. I thought he could have intercepted that, but people were saying that he was held a little bit, so maybe not. Would like for him to get a couple eventually get some interceptions, but he had a great day, and I really agree with the decision to play Emmanuel Forbes more against the New England Patriots that don't have any threats at receiver. So putting Emmanuel Forbes back in this game is good because it's against worse competition, but it gives him that confidence he needs. He needs that confidence before he goes up against DK. I really hope they don't put him on DK, but like Tyler Lockett or Jackson Smith and Jigba, for example, those are better matchups for him. And then besides that, on the defensive side, man, KJ Henry had a good rush. I think he might have been unblocked, but still had a nice sack on Mac Jones, and Mac Jones fumbled it, and they called roughing the passer. There's no debate about it. There wasn't roughing the passer on that play at all. Not at all. I don't know what the refs saw there. And then Dean Blandino said they're supposed to call it like that, but he didn't agree with that call. I hate these people defending the refs, even though he said it wasn't a good call. Come on, don't defend them. That was just a bad call. Yeah, it sucks because KJ Henry would have gotten his first career sack there. Jamin Davis is up and down. He had that really nice pass breakup against Ramondre Stevenson, which was underthrown. So if it was a good throw, honestly, Ramondre would have caught that over Jamin probably. He also missed a couple tackles, and then again that touchdown where Ramondre looks like he was responsible for it. Chris Rodriguez had a great special teams tackle, huge play by him. So the rookies, man, making some plays. Quan Martin with that interception also drew a holding penalty on special teams. Another thing, this is just a quick rant. I love how, last week Jahan Dotson has first off, Devontae Smith drops it. New York, obvious drop, and with replay, obviously. And New York apparently looked at it, didn't think it was an incompletion in time, and the Eagles get the playoff and they score a touchdown. And then later in the game, same thing happens. Jahan Dotson catches it. They rule it a catch. Someone on the Eagles gets injured. I think Darius Slay. They come back and New York says it was incomplete. This week, I can't remember who it was, but the Patriots receiver makes the catch. They call it a catch on the field, but then James Smith-Williams gets hurt. They go through the injury timeout. New York doesn't do anything about it, even though it was a clear drop. And then Ron Rivera has to use a challenge. It didn't end up affecting anything at all, but we had to use a challenge when we, in the past, like the Jahan Dotson play, they didn't have to use a challenge on the same exact, in the same exact circumstances. I know I'm ranting a little bit there, but that just got me a little bit mad there. Let's see. Gibson had a nice kick return. And then Crowder had some good returns as well. Joey Sly, good today, 2 for 2. And then 2 for 2 on extra points as well. And then Tress Way was good as well. 4 punts inside the 20, had a 64-yard punt, and then 1 that was a touchback. So overall, good day for the Commanders. Nothing was outstanding. One thing I will say, defensive line was getting no pressure. Very, very little pressure. It's one game. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, there was no sacks and one QB hit. One QB hit, and that was James Smith-Williams. I know Jonathan Allen had a nice tackle early on in the game, but need to see a little bit more pressure, especially like the interior defensive line. Like the Patriots' interior defense or offensive line is not great this year, so I think they could have gotten a little bit more pressure than they did. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.